Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, including Elliot Friedman, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort, located oceanside in beautiful Parksville. The Bayside Resort is one of Vancouver Island's premier getaway spots. With summer right around the corner, Parksville provides endless adventure, including beaches, golf, breweries, and more, all minutes away from the Bayside. Call now to book your reservation and mention Donnie and Dolly. Rick, you get 10% off your nightly room rate. You're pumped about that. Book your island getaway today. BaysideOceanfrontResort.com or call 250-248-8333 as we bring in from Hockey Night in Canada and the 32 Thoughts podcast, Elliot Friedman. How are you, sir?
I thought you were going to say to me, if I mention your names at the Bayside, I get charged an extra 20%.
Elliot, it would be a 20% discount.
Hey, if you went there, we'd work on 50% off for you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you are.
We know the owner. We know the owner. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Hey, Elliot, is Nazem Kadri, is he in the Blues' heads? Too much for their liking?
Look, I think you take a look at last night, and if anyone had the right last night to, not be completely in focus or not be straight along the line, it was Nazem Kadri with all the BS he was dealing with on social and off the ice. And I think really in a lot of ways it was his finest moment as a player. And it sucks that it has to happen that way. But just the way he handled an awful moment and the way we learn a lot about ourselves about the way we handle things when things aren't good. It's easy to be great when everything's perfect. It's hard to be great when everything is far less than that. And that was certainly the case in his world yesterday. And he played great. He scored the hat trick. And you could see what was happening. If you were, Kadri obviously has a history of disciplinary issues in the postseason, and the Blues were trying to push him over the edge, and he refused to do it. He did it he did everything you're supposed to do. He kept his composure, he kept calm, he scored, he won the game. He was the best player on the ice. That was one of his finest moments as a professional. And I was shocked that the team that is normally so composed, the St. Louis Blues, a really veteran, smart team, was the team that lost the composure and cost themselves the game.
Yeah, keep in mind the Justin Falk incident from last year, so there was some history there with Kadri as well. How would you defend? I know you're coach, player. You haven't done that at the NHL level, Elliot. How would you defend Connor McDavid right now?
My homework assignment, Don, over the last couple of days was to start soliciting some opinions about that. Mm-hmm. So, I thought when I left university, I would never have to do homework again, but I had some. I had some the last 48 hours, and I got a lot of funny remarks. I got kidnap him. I got take his employee card and hope that security doesn't recognize him at the door. I got a lot of lines like that. But basically, the thing that when they got serious, the thing a lot of people talked about was you have to say to the Oilers, okay, Connor McDavid is not bringing the puck out of your zone. Anyone else can bring the puck out, whether it's Draisaitl, as great as he is, or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, or Evander Kane, or Cody Ceci, or anyone else you want to name, Evan Bouchard. You have to, you have to say to them, you're taking the puck out of the zone. And McDavid likes to go underneath and with speed and get a pass from either a defenseman or a winger and charge up the ice. And basically what they said was you have to put a shadow on McDavid, like a Michael Backlund type guy, and say, look, Connor, you're not getting that pass. Mm-hmm. You are not getting that pass. We're going to either prevent them from passing it to you, or we're going to knock the puck away from you, but somebody else is bringing the puck out of your zone. Now, he's too good, and the NHL is too good that you won't be able to prevent it all the time. But what Calgary has to do is cut down on the number of opportunities he's getting.
Elliot, Evander Kane's agent tweeted out the money sign on the weekend, and he's licking his chops. You know that. What could Kane? Edmonton's going to have trouble. They're going to have to clear some space out to get Kane done because he's going up. His salary's going up, whether people like him or not. The reality is he's been great there. He's helping his agent. What's going to happen there? Do you think Edmonton, how would they be able to get him? And if he hits that market, Elliot, what kind of market is it going to be?
Well, I think the first thing, Rick, everybody has to realize is that we've got to get this situation with San Jose sorted out.
Oh, right.
Like what happens, for example, if his contract gets reinstated?
Yeah.
He's got I think 3 more years left at $7 million a season.
Yeah.
Like what happens if we get the weirdest of all possible situations where they say, you know what, you weren't right to cut his contract, and not only do you owe him, but his contract is still in place. Like in some ways, I think it could be a situation where that means that maybe San Jose, trades that contract to another team that's interested, and he's back on a 3-year, $7 million deal. I don't know, but it's not impossible that that's the outcome.
Right.
But other than that, I think there's going to be the guy was, of all the people that were acquired this year around the trade deadline, he's been the best.
Yep.
And you know what that means? That means he's going to have value, and that means there's going to be interest in him, especially as Edmonton keeps winning.
Elliot, pretty quiet with the Canucks, but they do got to do Besser. They got to do, Miller's going to be a big one this summer. Are you hearing anything out of Vancouver right now?
It's quiet. I think that they've been trying to do some preliminary negotiations. Like I don't get the sense that there's anything close or anything like that, but I do think they've been talking to all their people about, what they're looking at and what they're potentially thinking about here. Like one team, you take a look at a team like Florida, for example, and the way they lost, does it change what they think they need?
Right.
And I think that's the other thing that Vancouver's kind of been waiting for here is, and it's some other teams too, is that when a team loses the way Florida just did, or a team loses the way Toronto did, do you sit there and say, we need to change our group and we need to do some specific things? So I think that's going to be a factor. I think the Miller extension is going to be a tough thing to do. I also wonder about, in New Jersey. Like New Jersey is a team that I have often felt will be interesting to watch this summer, because I do think they want to take a step, and they've been a team that's talked with the Canucks before. But I think as more of these teams go out, I think that you're going to see some enhanced conversations about what the Canucks are going to do and what their direction is going to be.
Yeah, you mentioned the Panthers there, Elliot. Very, very quickly, what do you think they learned about themselves in that series against Tampa Bay? Just 3 goals in 4 games.
Well, when you play the Tampa Bay Lightning, you have to get to a higher level because they're going to.
Yeah.
So you look at the way, Don, that they threw themselves in the front of pucks, and the way they, that game 2 when Hagel was coming off the ice and Stamkos was coming back on, that's how you got to win in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Elliot, thanks for this. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Looking forward to my week at the Bayside. Take care, guys.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. We'll get him a free tamper as well.
Free tamper as well, 50% off.